Welcome back to Unlimited Recaps. Today we'll be diving into a sci-fi thriller film from 2014 Time Lapse. The movie begins with Finn, a painter working on a canvas in his apartment, which he shares with his girlfriend Callie and his best friend Jasper. Along with being an artist, Finn also manages the apartment complex while struggles with a gambling addiction. That day, Finn runs into Big Joe, the apartment security guard, and invites him to a party they're hosting the next day. Later, they get a call from their landlord, who tells them one of the tenants, Mr. B, hasn't paid rent in 2 months. Callie decides to go check on him. She knocks on Mr. B's door but gets no response. Noticing a pile of newspapers stacked outside, she realizes he hasn't been out in a while, so she uses a spare key to let herself in. Meanwhile, Finn and Jasper are chatting in Finn's room when Callie rushes in, looking alarmed. She takes them both to Mr. B's apartment. Inside, they find something disturbing: a wall covered in Polaroid photos of their own living room. Apparently, Mr. B has been secretly taking pictures of them through their window. Jasper immediately thinks Mr. B was spying on them, but Finn notices some of the photos are of an empty room, and a few pictures are even missing. Then, they spot a massive, strange-looking machine pointed directly at their living room window. It looks like an oversized camera, and hanging from it is a fresh Polaroid picture. In it, the coat rack in their living room is knocked over. They realize that all the pictures on the wall must have come from this machine. Back in their apartment, Callie accidentally knocks over the coat rack, just like in the photo. They compare the scene to the picture. It's an exact match. That's when they realize the camera isn't just taking regular photos, it's taking photos 24 hours into the future. The camera suddenly clicks again and spits out another picture. When they look at it, they see an image of their apartment during the party they're planning for the next day. This revelation leaves them stunned. Jasper is still skeptical though, not fully believing that the camera can really show the future. Then Callie finds Mr. B's journal where he writes about having seen his own death through the camera. He mentions planning to defy the cardinal rule of time and causality. Finn studies the photos more closely and notices that each one was taken at exactly 8 p.m. However, as they keep looking at the wall, they notice that some photos were taken during the daytime, which is strange since all recent ones were at 8 p.m. Even weirder, some of the pictures are missing altogether. Curious and unsettled, the group decides to check out Mr. B's storage unit, and that's where they make a shocking discovery: Mr. B's dead body. His face is burned and decayed, though his clothes look untouched. Jasper figures he must have met this fate because he broke the cardinal rule he wrote about. Back at their apartment, Jasper suggests using the future-seeing camera to get rich by gambling. Finn is hesitant, but Callie is all for it. That night, at their house party, Jasper and Callie dance with the guests while Finn sneaks into Mr. B's apartment at exactly 8 p.m. to see if the camera will take another matching photo. Sure enough, the new Polaroid shows a snapshot of them at the party, with a piece of paper taped to their window showing the winning gambling results. The next day, Finn is still uncertain, but Callie argues that if they ignore the photo and don't follow what it shows, they'll be breaking the cardinal rule and could end up like Mr. B. To keep up appearances, Callie even starts watering Mr. B's plants and picking up his newspapers so it seems like he's still around. With the camera's help, Finn paints exactly what he sees in the photos without having to come up with new ideas, while Jasper dutifully tapes the gambling results to the window each day. Over the next few days, they make a lot of money and they do a good job covering up Mr. B's absence. But then, about a week later, they get a new picture that shakes Finn up. It shows him painting in the foreground while, in the background, Jasper and Callie are kissing. Finn is disturbed by this, but they feel compelled to reenact the scene to avoid the consequences of breaking the rule. That night, as Finn paints, Callie and Jasper share the kiss. But it lingers a bit too long, sparking Finn's jealousy and anger. Frustrated, he storms out and heads to Mr. B's apartment, where he finds the next photo already developed. This one shows something even more unsettling: Jasper's bookie, Ivan, sitting in their living room. The group is stunned, knowing Ivan is a violent criminal with a ruthless reputation. The next day, Jasper is visibly on edge, nervously sitting on the couch, bracing himself for Ivan's arrival while Callie and Finn step out. Sure enough, Ivan shows up, already suspicious of Jasper's recent lucky streak. He demands to know Jasper's secret, even threatening him. Jasper, desperate, offers Ivan a share of his bets in exchange for leaving them alone. Just then, Callie and Finn return, holding the newest Polaroid. The photo shows something shocking. Callie is posing nude for Finn's painting, while a shadowy silhouette, presumably Jasper's, appears to be spying on them through a mirror. Ivan catches a glimpse of the picture, smirking before he leaves. The next day, Finn and Callie nervously prepare to recreate the photo, with Callie posing as Finn paints her. But right at 8 p.m., they're startled to see Ivan standing outside the window staring in. It turns out that the silhouette from the picture wasn't Jasper at all, it was Ivan. He barges in with his enforcer, Marcus, demanding to know about the camera after discovering its true purpose. Ivan forces the group into a new deal. Every day, they're to use the camera to take photos with winning gambling results, allowing Ivan to profit from the future. The group reluctantly complies, providing Ivan with the daily gambling numbers. This continues for a few days until one evening, Finn notices a strange new Polaroid. Instead of the usual scene, this one shows a skull and crossbones hastily painted on his canvas, a stark, crude image that doesn't match his style at all. The group believes this ominous symbol is a warning from future Finn, trying to signal danger. Jasper becomes especially anxious, preparing for an attack by hiding weapons around the living room and practicing with a knife. That evening, Finn runs into Big Joe, who tells him he's just become a police officer and gives him a business card. As they talk, Marcus spies on them from his car. Finn returns to the apartment and quietly lets Jasper know about Big Joe's new job. Not long after, Ivan and Marcus return, their mood darker than ever. They found Big Joe's police card and immediately suspect the group of being connected to law enforcement. Ivan and Marcus threaten to kill all three of them, pushing the group into a corner. Thinking quickly, Jasper lies and tells Ivan that tomorrow's picture shows Marcus killing Ivan. This plants a seed of distrust between the two criminals, leading Ivan to demand proof. He storms off to Mr. B's apartment, determined to see tomorrow's picture himself and confirm the truth. When Ivan returns, he's horrified to find Marcus dead. Before he can react, Jasper ambushes him with a bat, killing him too. The group hides both bodies in Mr. B's storage unit, hoping that no one will uncover their secret. When they check the next picture from the camera, they see an image of Jasper sitting on the couch with a huge pile of money in front of him. Realizing they now have access to Ivan's gambling funds, they gather up his cash, totaling millions. That night, Finn suggests they take the money and leave the country to start fresh. But Jasper and Callie aren't ready to abandon their new life. Later, there's an unexpected knock at the door. It's Dr. Heidecker, a colleague and close friend of Mr. B, looking for him. She's skeptical of the group's answers about his whereabouts, especially when Jasper stumbles over their cover story. Sensing something's wrong, she pulls a gun and demands the truth. Dr. Heidecker reveals that Mr. B had written her a letter before his death, explaining his breakthrough with the camera and his suspicion of impending danger. Along with the letter, he'd sent her a disturbing photo, a shot of the group's living room with his hat on a chair and blood splattered on the windows. Mr. B believed this image meant he was about to die, so he'd hidden himself in his storage unit. When they take her to the unit, Dr. Heidecker realizes Mr. B didn't die due to breaking any cardinal rule. He accidentally knocked over a container of chemicals, which caused his death. It was simply a tragic accident. She also points out that the photo in the letter is from the future, more than 24 hours ahead, revealing that the camera is capable of taking photos beyond a single day, though it's currently set to shoot at 8 p.m. every night, exactly 24 hours forward. Recognizing that Dr. Heidecker might expose them, Jasper suddenly kills her with Ivan's gun. They hide her body in the storage unit as well, but the violence unnerves Finn, who accuses Jasper of killing an innocent woman. He decides he's had enough and plans to leave. As 8 p.m. approaches, Jasper takes a photo with the pile of money, while Callie goes to check the next day's picture. Just then, Finn steps out, suitcase in hand, ready to leave for good. He heads to Mr. B's apartment, where he finds Jasper and Callie sitting in shock. The new picture is a shocking one. It shows Callie and Jasper having sex, with Finn asleep on the couch in the background. Furious and heartbroken, Finn confronts them. Callie flees in distress, while Finn shows Jasper an engagement ring he had bought for Callie, revealing he'd planned to propose. As Finn speaks, Jasper hits him on the head, knocking him unconscious. He drags Finn to the storage unit, tying him up. Determined to make sure the future in the photos comes to pass exactly as shown, Jasper intends to control every detail, even if it means betraying his friend. Meanwhile, the next morning, Finn regains consciousness in the storage unit. Determined to escape, he burns through the ropes, frees himself, and retrieves the keys from Mr. B's pocket to make his way out. He grabs a bucket of water and heads to Mr. B's apartment. where he calls Jasper, threatening to pour water over the camera to destroy it unless Jasper agrees to let him and Callie leave for good. In response, Jasper calls Callie over and holds her at gunpoint, attempting to intimidate Finn. But Finn doesn't back down. Instead, he urges Callie to check Jasper's pocket, where she finds the engagement ring Finn had bought for her. Surprised and delighted, Callie grabs Jasper's gun, opens the door for Finn, and lets him in. Now, all three are together in the apartment. Finn quickly tells Callie to pack her things so they can leave. But just as she heads off to get her clothes, Jasper attacks Finn, nearly overpowering him. In a moment of desperation, Callie steps in from behind and kills Jasper to save Finn. Relieved but shaken, Finn asks for some ice for his injuries, and Callie heads to the kitchen. But when Finn checks on her, he catches her rummaging through a different drawer. She brushes it off with a flimsy excuse, and Finn's suspicions grow. Later, Callie takes him back to their room, leaving him with the ice. But Finn follows her to Mr. B's apartment, where he finds her posing in front of the camera with 2 notes pasted on the window. Finn is confused as the camera clicks it's only 8 a.m., and he thought the camera only took photos at 8 p.m. When he questions Callie about it, she finally reveals everything. Before the events of the film, Callie had been feeling neglected in her relationship with Finn, who had grown distant. Longing for attention, she ended up in an affair with Jasper, but they had no idea that Mr. B's time camera had captured evidence of their affair, taking photos of them together. When Callie first entered Mr. B's apartment, she discovered the machine and the incriminating photos, including one showing them in an intimate moment. She was desperate to hide the evidence, so she removed those photos from the wall. She also realized that the camera was set to take photos twice a day at both 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., but Callie kept the 8 a.m., timing a secret from Finn and Jasper. Noticing one photo showing her with a message to herself, "Knock coat, stand over." Hide last week's daytime photo, she saw this as an opportunity to secretly pass instructions to herself. Over the days, Callie would visit Mr. B's apartment every morning under the pretense of watering his plants, when in reality she was retrieving the 8 a.m. picture to follow the next set of instructions. One morning, she received an instruction to kiss Jasper for too long, so later that evening, she stretched out the kiss with Jasper just as Finn walked in, successfully sparking Finn's jealousy. She wanted him to care enough to fight for their relationship, hoping to rekindle his feelings. Just the day before, the camera had given Callie a new message at 8 a.m. Swap out today's picture. With the sex photo, she followed this instruction to ensure Finn would see the picture, stoking his jealousy and pushing him to fight for her. Callie's plan worked. She managed to reignite Finn's feelings, though her actions unleashed a cascade of tragic events. As the story reaches its climax, Finn, devastated by Callie's manipulations and her confession, realizes the damage the camera has caused. He tells her it's time to destroy it and end the chaos once and for all. But before he can act, Callie shoots him, killing him instantly. Blood splatters across the window, exactly as shown in the photo Heidecker had. Still desperate to undo everything, Callie decides to tape a note to the window reading, "Don't get caught at the window." She hopes that when the camera snaps its 8 p.m. picture, this message will appear for her past self, giving her a chance to prevent the entire sequence of events. Just as Callie waits for the camera to take the crucial photo, Big Joe, now a cop, arrives. Seeing the carnage in the apartment, he restrains Callie and begins leading her away. Callie goes without resistance, believing that her message will reset the timeline and erase all of these tragedies. But as Joe pulls her away, the note she placed on the window falls off, leaving her message unseen. Callie realizes with horror what's happened and tries to break free, desperate to put the note back. Joe restrains her though and drags her outside as the camera snaps its 8 p.m. photo. The film fades to black just before we see the image develop, leaving the sense that nothing can change the tragic events, as they are part of a predestined, unbreakable loop. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos like this.